January 27th. I tore the heads and intake manifold off of the block. Everything's moving freely, except for there was a stuck valve. It looks really dirty. I'm gonna have to keep breaking this down. I'm gonna send the block off to get hot tanked. The valve that was sticking was this front one here, an exhaust port. It was sticking in the guide. I just lightly tapped on it with a rubber hammer, and after I soaked it with some penetrating oil, and it broke loose. Still undecided whether I'm going to save the valve train. I may just buy a whole new set of valves and guides and springs and retainers and all that stuff. I'm gonna have to make a tool, kind of like a crowbar, to fit it up under the spring. Pull all that apart. I'm also gonna have to make or modify a 1/2-inch wrench, a box-end wrench to fit around this. There's not enough space to get. I don't necessarily want to pull the distributor gear off. I can, but I don't really want to. But if I grind down the edge of like a box end, I might be able to fit it in here to pull those out. I'm also gonna have to make a puller for this idler gear for the oil pump. It looks like it's threaded, so I can maybe take a threaded piece of stock and send it in there, and then stick it through a steel bar or something, and then put a nut on it and back it out. I think I also have to pull the cam bearings out before I can get it hot tanked, so I'm gonna have to make a puller for that as well. And there's the top end of the motor. I'll probably break down the rest of the heads and send it out with the block to get it hot tanked. On the frame, I pulled this guy out. This is mechanical brake lever assembly. Like it links up from the brake, I think here, from the brake pedal, and then sent out. It might have came off of this one. All the mechanical brakes are missing on this. It's been at some point converted to hydraulics, so I'm not sure which one went to which, but there would have been 4 levers going to each of the wheels, but it was located up underneath there. I needed to get that off so I could clean this up. I'm trying to strip down the frame as much as possible before. I'm hoping March will be warm enough to wheel this outside and do some blasting on the frame. I blasted the bell housing, so I got the transmission part sitting there. I've got one more in here in the blast cabinet. I'm working on the flywheel cover. There's a little bit of gunk left up in here. Not that you would ever see this, but I'm just kind of anal about this stuff, so I'm gonna clean it up real nice, even if I'll never see it before again. So not anytime soon, anyway. So it's almost cleaned up, so I can paint that. I got some throttle cables in here and the hood rods. I'm probably gonna replace the rods, but I'm gonna save the where it mounts to the firewall over there. I've also still got the shift linkages in here. I got pedals in here I'm going to blast. I think I've about worn out my compressor, so I may need to upgrade that. It's oh man, it's maybe 15 years old. It's going on that. It's this Craftsman here. It's not really keeping up with the blasting. I may have to make a plate for the top of it and convert it to a two-stage, like with a motor and a separate pump, instead of this oil-free thingamajob on top of there. I think that's about it right now. I'll probably do some more blasting on the cab today before I go home, and keep working on the blast cabinet with the small odds and end parts. Sometime I'm gonna have to look around and see who can hot tank this block for me. I was gonna mount it up on the engine stand, but as soon as I had it up there, it seemed like it was, well, I couldn't find bolts, so I'm gonna have to go buy some bolts to fit the thread in the block, because I tried to mount it up on the bell housing, and it was starting to flexibilize. I pulled